Nigel Farage's criticism of the Archbishop of Canterbury is telling and, of course, captures front page news today. And he's criticised Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury. Well, Welby is a target for criticism, and a lot of it is deserving. In this case, I'm not so sure it is. This is simply an opportunity for Farage to put forward, to sloganise and to wave his placard. He isn't offering anything new, and he says that nor is the Archbishop of Canterbury. Welby said yesterday, we can as a nation do better than the bill that is going through the House of Lords. We'll talk about that a little bit more because it's an interesting problem. And he says that the bill to send people to Rwanda is damaging for our nation's unity. I agree. I agree with him entirely. And that criticism is perfectly reasonable. In order to increase the quality of the debate, you don't necessarily need to offer an answer. You simply need to offer a coherent criticism. And this moves the level of debate away from the assumption that the Rwanda bill is wrong to a question of the impact of that bill, the wider impact of that bill. And I think the Archbishop was quite right to ask that and to develop that argument. The wider impact of the bill. This fragments our nation. First of all, it divides those people who are natively British, whatever that means, because most of us are not, from those who are immigrants. It starts to talk about them and us, which is bad. But secondly, it starts to talk about those who support us and those who support them within our national group. And then I think it further fragments us into those who voted for Remain and those who voted for Brexit. Essentially, a vote, which we do every 5 years at least in a general election, is something that can be changed or modified, reversed at the next election. And the idea that people can change their mind is built into the whole construct of this form of democracy. So that we can have a vote once and not change our minds is absurd. That is the principle behind, by the way, the SNP demand for a new referendum on Scottish independence. And if that is granted, then we need a new referendum on Brexit. The two things go together, I'm afraid. I personally don't think a new referendum helps. I think we have to deal with the reality that we've got, which is Brexit. I don't think reversing Brexit. I don't think Brexit is something that can be reversed. But Brexit, we may not want it. We may have to accept it, but we can still bitch about it. Surely, that's the whole point about debate. And that doesn't make me a Ramona to bitch about Brexit. It simply means I think that Brexit, as we've got it, is wrong. I thought that Brexit was a bad idea, and I've been proven right. I've been proven right not because Brexit as a concept itself is wrong. I don't think necessarily it was wrong. It wasn't what I would have proposed as a solution to the problem. The problem was a disunited and uncontrolled Europe. I think Europe is significantly more united post-Brexit, so we've actually done Europe a favour. But the Brexit that we were looking for is not the Brexit we have got. This is not a Brexit which has helped the NHS. It's made it worse. This is not a Brexit which has helped our trade. It's made it worse. This is so. Whenever people in the government talk about trade agreements, these are agreements that we'd already got in the past. We'd already got enough trade to keep going comfortably, and now a lot of it is gone, and we have to set it all up again. We have to do all the work simply to stand still, and we're not even at the point of comfort that we were in before Brexit. So yeah, Brexit. Let's bitch about it. And Mr. Farage says of the most Reverend Justin Welby that he has offered no alternative whatever to the Rwanda bill. Well, why? He doesn't need to. That's the point. He says, he talks about unity. I tell you what, Archbishop, if there was a referendum on this, there would be a real unity, because a very large majority would say that those that cross illegally shouldn't be allowed to stay. They shouldn't be coming via this route. But he says we can do better, and I don't hear him offer any alternative whatsoever. Well, there is an alternative, Mr. Farage, and Justin Welby may not have articulated it, but the alternative is to cite consular offices in France, consular offices in Albania, consular offices in Turkey and in Syria, and set the mood and the framework for Europe to follow suit, so that the smuggling business is destroyed overnight, because there will be no need to cross the sea. If people are going to be offered asylum in Italy, in Greece, in France, in Germany, in England, in Scotland, in Wales, in Ireland, then they should be given permission to cross, or indeed helped to cross, after an initial approval from one of these consulate offices. That would change the system overnight. The government isn't trying to break the smugglers' trade. The government is trying to break the number of migrants and to change public attitude to migration. What it says in the bills about breaking the smugglers' business is not true. If it wanted to break the smugglers' business, it could. I proposed again and again a method that would break that trade and would stop the flow of small boats. If the government wished to do so, it could do so overnight. And so could Europe.